Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comments? Is there any public comments? Huh? I have roll call, sorry.
Alderman Fairwell. Alderman McGee.
Here.
Alderman Carr.
Here.
Alderman Roll. Alderman Johnston. Alderman Montoya. Alderman Ruthenberg.
Here.
Three present, Your Honor.
Okay, he makes four. Is there any public comments? Any public comment? Moving on. Under A, these three came out of planning and zoning. I have concerns on all three. We'll start with the first one. Discussion regarding findings of fact by the city PCBA regarding Blue Island National Citgo zoning application for 2 sign variances. So in summary, there's 2 monument signs that are at the location. They started taking one down, replacing without.
Not sure.
There was permitting issues. Our code does not allow signs of that size anymore. So they were told to stop at the time. That was months ago when they applied to planning and zoning for relief. At the committee, at planning and zoning, items came up. I have certain items with that location. Building maintenance, property maintenance, landscaping. That if this does go forward and provide them relief, I'd like to tack on a few things on there for the property to be upkept. And at this point, I want Alderman Ruthenberg, this is board, to take a look at the property himself. So I'm not asking for this to go to the next meeting. I'd like some input from the Alderman, and Treasurer Reed is familiar with the property also. And then we could probably discuss it. So it could be on the agenda, but I'm not asking for it voted on just yet. Is there any questions? Under B, discussion regarding findings of fact by the city PCBA regarding SMS Emmanuel LLC's application for a zoning map amendment. B and C kind of go together. It's a property on 135th and Western, just south of Old Western Avenue. He's trying to convert commercial unit space to residential units. I have issues with this myself, and it's simultaneously, there's language that was found that actually contradicts some of this language. So I don't know if the attorney wants to explain some of this.
So basically, the property is at 13547 Western, and he initially sought zoning relief to convert the first floor into residential. It was determined at that time that because he was an I-1, that wouldn't be necessary. So now he's seeking a map amendment to change the zoning district for that property only from industrial 1 to UTOD. He still intends to convert the first floor commercial into a residential. However, we do have an ordinance already existing that says if he's in UTOD, that cannot occur. So he's not going to meet his end goal with this regardless. And then if you read through the findings of fact, you'll see that this is kind of just in the middle of 2 districts. So to change this one property, the PCBA did recommend it. Their reasonings are in there, but those are the concerns that the city has.
Additionally, my concerns is allowing residential starts to pass precedent because businesses on a regular basis ask to convert storefronts to residences. The city has been denying it for many, many years. I don't want to start this because it opens up the floodgates for everybody asking what if DMARS wants to make that apartment sound. So my position is that this dies in committee unless it has to go to a vote. Does it have to?
Yeah.
All right, well, it's gonna go there, but my position is against it. If there's any questions from the floor right now, if not, it'll still be on the agenda, but it's my opinion that this is not passed. Any questions? C, it goes along with that, right?
No, C is a text amendment that was drafted by the city to allow industrial outdoor storage as a special use in industrial district. Just because we've heard it's something that people looking to do business in the city of Blue Island are interested in some of our industrial districts. So in order to do it, they still have to go through the PCBA, but we would like to make it a special use. We don't need more recommended it for approval.
Any thoughts on that? I have no issue with that. All right. The opening of bids for vacant city residential lots, property we tore down at 2133 136th Street.
All right, looks like we got one bid. Billing is from Gare Zane on Avila. The bid is for $1,000. They currently reside at 2129 136th Street and have been there for more than 10 years. If the bid was accepted, their plan would be to expand the yard for their home. They've been investing into the exterior of their home and believe this would be by the neighborhood. That is the only bid we received.
Any questions? Now we'll best, make sure it's, a bit of that, bring it to the next meeting. Under E discussion regarding request for proposals for removal and replacement of damaged chain link fence. So it's ongoing, like last year, we replaced some chain link fence by the Metro lot, this is, one of the Metro lots. North of Vermont Street, Metro Electric lot. We have a lot of old rusty chain link fencing throughout the city, this is no different, also with many old trees growing within it. A few years ago, I know Alderman Rita, requested Public Works tear down a portion of it because it looked so bad. We want to replace it with, wrought iron, steel, black fence as viewed by the parking lot there. There's another fence along Old Western Avenue that we do at the same time. And it's out to bid currently right now. Are there any questions on that? It's on our website if anybody wants to look at it. Junkyards.
Okay, so do you want me to
Yeah,
briefly explain? We have no regulations within the city for junkyard. No regulations or rules managing scrap material or anything of that nature. The only thing we have is a definition of junkyard. That's what's included in your package. And then I also included a few other regulatory codes from other municipalities that do regulate. And I think what the city was looking to do is just manage how scrap material is being brought into the city and stored, handled, sold, etc. So I just provided you with some examples, so you can look through those, see if you have any opinions about what you would like to see in this new law that we're going to put in place relating to scrap metal.
this is one with 3 cars too.
Yes. We're talking about the storage of vehicles in front of businesses, vehicle repair businesses, things like that, and limiting those to 3 out in front for a period of time. Currently, the code does require them to only remain out front for 14 days at max. It's not really easy to police that, but there was no max number. So we made bring a code amendment to make that maximum 3 cars out front for the 14 days.
Did you say for automotive?
Yes. Right, automotive repair and,
There's a couple on Western Avenue that have 30, 40 cars for us.
and currently they're only supposed to be there for 14 days at a time. That's not being implemented. So if you have ideas, opinions, let me know them via email. I'll be drafting the amendments next week.
Any questions? Fair housing ordinance, just compliance language updates.
These were requested from the building department.
All right, if there's any questions on those before the meeting, please email the attorney. Bring some updates to the codes for compliance. Discussion regarding amendments to the zoning code regulation of residential dwellings. This is for the entire city, right?
Right.
Okay, so as I was mentioning earlier, our code right now only allows converting commercial to residence in certain areas of town. I don't want to allow it at all. We haven't allowed it. We just want to make the blanket statement, it's not allowed in the city. So items like this one on 35th Street wouldn't pop up because it sits 2 feet outside of a different district. So if there's any thoughts on that, it's the same thing, basically. It's a commercial unit on the first floor, should stay a commercial unit on the first floor.
And since writing this agenda, there is a building code that relates to this. It's not specific enough in terms of prohibiting the commercial transition to residential in all districts, but we would not actually have to amend the zoning code. We just have to amend the building code, which we should just go through city council as opposed to the process through PBA.
We have something in place to units that were residential that were once commercial, if it changes owners, it could, yes, go back to commercial.
Do we?
It would depend on if it fit into what's called a non-conforming use. And I'd have to, you look at that on an individualized basis.
There's a lot of that down in Albany, saying like there's corner stores that, out residential units. So it'd be on an ongoing basis, but is it right now, let's say the building, if the property goes up for sale, for example, let's say the, if anyone that used to be that. Nice store, it's an apartment now, it used to be a store, the law office now is an apartment, right next to these annex here, that goes up for sale. And the apartment make that commercial.
Is that UTOD?
Yeah.
I'd have to look.
I think it's utility, okay, let's take that out, let's pick a building by, that's now a apartment in the front of what's the store.
Depending on the number of years, if it's now residential, it would have to stay residential, single family. 2 and 3 units are special uses in a residential district, because it's no longer being used as commercial. It wouldn't have been used as commercial for X amount of years. So then it converted to a residential, it stayed residential for however long. It's no longer a non-conforming commercial use because the use changed. And then it would be required to follow zoning code. Really interesting.
All of us answer your question, right?
Yeah.
Whole town. we
The
get a lot of
answer is it
choices.
depends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it depends.
I guess my main thing is like, they'll go through zoning too, and they go through the process, because for it to have like, proper amount of exits and all that stuff, that's not much.
Discussion regarding demolition at 133-7 Old Western Avenue, this is one beer company building that's city owned. Now that all the tenants that were occupying the chopped up unregulated storefronts in the front, there was one time showroom, we're gonna demo the interior for possible commercial space. To hopefully plan purchaser of the building. And we also have issues with rainwater coming in from the rain, yes, last week, we have Brooker come take a look at it this week sometime, hopefully it's not a major issue. I just want to let the council know that's ongoing, to try to find a future and permanent use for this property. Beer company building. 6B and Class 8, these are both related to each other, they're both Harvey pallets. I know Alderman Johnson said he has some concerns, I'll repeat them here since he's not here. The location on 135th and Western, there is issues with the frontage on Western Avenue, which is across from the Libby. We want to tag on if we're going to approve this, I'm assuming they did all the applications already.
They did, yes.
I know it's one of our largest employers, over 300 employees working there. And it is a big operation. They haven't a friendly neighbor, but there is some concerns. There is an apron on 136th Street that's opposite to their yard that Alderman Johnson says the trucks keep backing versus front yard. So I'm not sure exactly what address that is, but I want to put my head in there that for removal, we walk around the property with the aldermen, so certain things are pointed out. And the issues with beautification on the Western Avenue frontage, there's an old parking lot at the building that's not being maintained and they're using it for truck parking. There's an old signage that's falling apart, there's overgrowth and landscaping. I want all this tagged on if we're going to review this class exemptions. I know Alderman Johnson has a couple concerns also.
I mean, for the 6B portion, I mean, they have to show economic hardship, and you know, I didn't see any of that in their application.
I think there's a brief letter. The third paragraph of their letter is where I think they're trying to show you how much their property taxes would be with or without the 6B incentive, but I understand what you're saying as well.
Analyze that also before the meeting. Did they fill out the application and paid the fee, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Right. Any other questions? I just want clarity from the alderman before we send it to council. Discussion regarding golf course clubhouse. The golf course has turned a profit in the last 4 years we've been here, so a sum of a very healthy sum. It's nearly $1 million in the account. The long-term plan for the golf course was always to replace the clubhouse, that's basically a three-car garage, with a real clubhouse that could provide more rental opportunities like a hall or something like that. They have golf simulators now and things like that. We have put in the budget for this year, at least discussions on soil testing and architectural plans to put together. Nothing moving quickly for this year, but it was built in 1994 and it's been 30 years or whatever. It needs improvements. That clubhouse right now needs a roof, it needs sewer, plumbing work, it needs bathrooms. I don't want to put money into a building that wasn't built properly to begin with. And this is something the council has discussed over and over again a few times in the past. Some you were here, some before you were here. So it's a conversation we're gonna have for quite a while over the next year or so. That's the long-term plan, to provide revenue to the golf course, increasing an asset that we already are getting a pretty good return on. Last year, we have a spreadsheet that's gonna be passed out to the next committee of the whole. I think the profit was around $300,000 last year. That's after paying the water, paying all the bills, insurance, everything, bills that they never had to pay before. It still turned a very healthy profit. So it's something to look into now that we are one of the only 18-hole golf courses. A lot of these other golf courses have reduced to 9-hole and built houses on the other half. So it's been nonstop use all summer long, and I want to increase the viability of the asset going forward. So you'll be hearing a lot more. No decisions needed tonight. I just want to inform the council that we are starting some soil testing and some stuff for the site to see the feasibility of what this would be. That's all I have for this. We do have a short executive for something I want to take us through.
One thing for me.
City clerk.
No,
Director. Administrator. Good. All the banner comments. All right, let's go on a quick executive. Need a motion for executive. All the banner cards, all in favor, say aye. Motion to open a regular session. Alderman Ruthenberg, second by Alderman Carl, all in favor, say aye. Aye. In executive, we talked real estate concerns and litigation. So motion to adjourn. Alderman Carl, second by Alderman Ruthenberg, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed?